All right, let's go, because you know what I came in to do.
I don't get paid for overtime. I'm here to fight.
6'4" with a 79-inch reach. Diego Pacheco, super middleweight. 18-0, 15 stoppages. Been following this kid. It was a bit ballsy for Eddie to match Jack Cullen with this kid here. Lancashire-born resident. 21-0, 9 knockouts, 4 losses, 4 defeats, 1 draw is his record after this latest loss to Pacheco. He's 6'3" himself. Michael Jennings, who trains him, tried to get Jack to push the lesser experienced 22-year-old on the back foot. So they tried to get Jack on the front foot, and Jack held the ring center in the first round and landed some good jabs. But Jack has always been vulnerable to the body. Eddie said that Pacheco isn't a body puncher, and he caught him with some beautiful body punches to finish the fight. It was always a bit of an ask, wasn't it? Like Jack standing toe-to-toe with this guy here in a shootout, and he got caught with some well-executed right hands, and then a body shot finished it down twice in the fourth. You know, it was a routine win. It was a nice outing for Pacheco to gain some fans in England, in Europe, and he achieved that and looked very good. But it was nothing more than that, in all truth, in hindsight. It was never going to be nothing more than that. Routine win. Routine win. Can Pacheco go on to win world honours? He looks as good a prospect out there as anyone. We'll see. Pacheco, born, raised and located in Los Angeles, Mexican heritage. I like the look of the kid. He reminds me a bit of Alexis Arguello. He does. I'm not going to lie. He does. Want to see more. And that was the main event. The card resembled a next-gen card because Callum Smith and Paro pulled out. Eddie would have been hugely disappointed with those two fighters withdrawing from the card, depleting its value.
I'll give you credit for keeping the card on, given Callum Smith's injury. Bottom line, the financial side of it, how much do you stand to lose on an event like this when you keep the card going with someone like Callum Smith dropping off?
We've sold a lot of tickets because of who's on the card. You know, Johnny Fisher's done 1,000. Jack Cullen's done 400. Paddy Lacey's done 400. Akib Fiaz has done 200. Campbell Hatton's done 200. So it's like we'll have nearly 5,000 in there for this card. So financially, it's never great, but we're okay because of the amount of tickets that have been sold. You know, sometimes you lose a main event and no one wants to go to the card, but this wasn't really the case with that. And this going ahead is a mixture of us making sure that fighters get paid and get them out, but also financially we've got enough people in the venue to make it look good and to make it a success, and the card is good enough as a standalone.
You know, so that's a half full venue basically Eddie's talking about. 11,000 capacity Echo Arena. They got just under 5. They've done well to keep the card alive so the fighters could get paid. They've done well. If Callum was there, they would have sold it out. Not shilling for MATCHROOM people, but let me tell you this now. If you can get 5,000 or just under 5,000 without one star name headlining into a venue, you've done very well. Let's consider that Joe Joyce's next fight on Queensbury is in the Copper Box, which sits around 6,000 people. And we're talking about an Olympic gold medalist, unbeaten, 14 knockouts, 15 wins. One of the most impressive runs in terms of form from any heavyweight is only seating a 6,000 venue. I think it will be full though.
For the first time in a 4-belt era, 2 reigning undisputed champions will face off against each other.
The Queen of Ireland, she's coming home.
Big announcement on that MATCHROOM card. Katie Taylor, undisputed lightweight champion, takes on Chantel Cameron, undisputed light welterweight champion, at the Free Arena in Ireland. So Katie's homecoming is official. Chantelle. She's been calling for this fight a long time. She's 31 years of age, 5'8", 69-inch reach. Katie Taylor is 5'5", 66-inch reach. So this is a big challenge. She's taking on a younger, bigger, and I would say quite accomplished boxer, decent puncher, who actually made easier work of the Jessica McCaskill fight than Katie did. I've still got it disputed whether Katie won that fight. And Chantel cleaned McCaskill up. Now, I'm not necessarily doing a triangle theory, but if it's in my head, I'll mention it. Katie has 6 stoppages in 22 fights. Not a big puncher. Chantel has 8 in 17 fights. And I'm going to assume she's going to be the heavier puncher. It's a very good matchup. It's going to be a huge party in Ireland on that day. Eddie Hearn said that Katie is more than likely going to see out her career in Ireland at 36 years of age. And with the Irish authorities giving the all clear for professional boxing to return to Ireland after all the issues it's had, we'd expect nothing less, you know. Katie's fought exclusively in England, America, and I'm going to assume the whole Croke Park thing will be reserved for later on this year if Katie is successful in beating Chantelle, which is no certainty at all. Croke Park will be reserved for a stadium fight against Amanda Serrano, which many are hinting at will be Katie's final fight. But we'll see. The only thing that kept Tony Harrison in the fight as long as 9 rounds is his excellent jab. Tzsyu put on an excellent performance here in a fight he didn't, in theory, technically didn't need to take. He's next in line to take on the undisputed champion, CHARLO. Tim methodically picked apart Harrison. That left hook he was whipping into the body looked very reminiscent to his old man's, if you watched his old man fighting in his prime. I have no doubt Harrison trained hard for this fight, but inactivity, wear and tear, and motivation, a lack of motivation, can often make it hard to get back in condition if you spent long out of the ring and the focus ain't there. I saw him against Perella, and his fitness wasn't right. He wasn't in physical or mental shape. He came back well against Sergio Garcia in 2022. But as a PBC fighter, the inactivity, and I pointed this out when I was breaking this fight down, the inactivity is just not in your favour to win a fight like this against a younger, and we will assume hungrier opponent. You know, he's fought, 3 fights since 2019. One of them a draw against Pereira. Tzsyu has had 7 fights since 2019. Twice the amount of fights. And you can see, halfway through the bout, Harrison is fighting open-mouthed, too happy to sit on the rope, can't hold the ring center. But Tzsyu wasn't about to leave him alone and let him fight at his own pace, picking off counters here and there. He kept throwing that left hook to the stomach, some hard right uppercuts landed. Tim sat him down on the seat of his trunks with a dozen or so unanswered punches. The referee checked him over and rightly waved this one off. Good victory for Tzsyu. Hopefully that CHARLO fight happens soon.
It sounds great. Okay, so we got Tzsyu taking on Tony Harrison.
Right.
You've faced Harrison twice. You're supposed to face Tzsyu in January. What are you expecting?
Well, I'm expecting Tim to come in, put a lot of pressure on Tony. He's going, you know, because we've been when we was getting ready to fight and we studied him. So I see him just taking a fight. Let's see if he can get Tony out of there like he said he can. But on the other hand, I faced Tony already. So Tony got a stiff jab. He moves around a lot, and now we're going to see if Tony can last throughout the end of the rounds, because you know they say he get a little tired by the end of the round. I mean, we know that. You know? So, and whoever wins, I'll be looking forward to seeing a great matchup.
Tim, he's 28, prime years. This is when he wants to be fighting for belts, is right now. Harrison, 32 years of age, very talented, but doesn't deal well with pressure, doesn't take the greatest shot. Inactivity, like I said, fitness not where it needs to be. And plus, that commute for a lot of fighters to Australia is not easy. It's really not easy. Some very good fighters have lost abroad there, from Victor Calais, Manny Pacquiao. Harrison landed a lot of jabs and landed 1-2s in there though. But Tim just seemed unfazed and seemed like he had tunnel vision. And he ground Harrison down. Best career performance for Tzsyu? Yeah, I'd say so. Does JERMELL go straight into this fight? No warm-up. He's been out around 8 months or so. I believe in training, CHARLO broke his hand in 2 places, and that cancelled the fight between him and Tzsyu. The fight was supposed to happen in January, but he's giving us an update here.
A lot of fight fans want to know what's popping with the left hand. How is it doing?
The left hand doing great. You know, it's healing up. I'm doing everything I can in the gym to strengthen it. It's going to be stronger than it's ever been. So they'll see me by the end of the summer or sometime.
Martin Bakole spilling the beans on Sparring. It's funny, years back when Tom Little spilt the beans about Daniel Dubois quitting, in sparring against Martin Bakole. This was in the lead up to Daniel Dubois' fight with Tom Little, and he stopped Tom. When Tom revealed the details of the sparring session in the press conference, because he was trying to rattle Daniel and unsettle him, Martin Bakole said, now I'm paraphrasing, you shouldn't be revealing what happened in sparring. Why don't you tell them what I did to you in sparring? So he was a lot more humble, I want to use that word, but let's say a lot more discreet and respectful about the ethics of sparring stories stay in the gym. But I guess right now, it's anything goes to get a big fight. Clout chasing, if you like, to promote himself. He's got this deal with Ben Shalom, and they want to capitalize on it. Him and Billy Nelson, they want to make the most of it. So if they have to sell out sparring stories now, this is where they're at. And this is what Tom Little had to say.
But what we do is we see who's weak and who ain't, because I ain't a puncher, but I'm going to make him bow his head, turn his back and say no more. He's going to beg me for mercy.
Who did he apparently quit in sparring to?
Martin Bakole.
Now Martin is letting us know that he stopped Daniel Dubois, not once, but twice in sparring. He said he made the mistake of sparring Daniel Dubois. And essentially he's saying he's scared Daniel Dubois off. Now Martin wants to challenge Daniel for that interim belt, the WBA interim belt. And he's trying to push the issue. Martin is ranked number 2, I believe, in the rankings. The number 1 spot is vacant. So he's the leading contender for Daniel's second-tier title. Now, I believe Martin has been in 2 Alexander Usyk training camps. So I believe in his last 2. I think he helped him prepare for the first AJ fight in London. And he's saying here he stopped Usyk in the training camp in Dubai. So that would have been the training camp for the second Anthony Joshua fight. He's claiming he stopped Usyk. Now, with the Usyk Fury fight looking like it's good to go, this is going to send shockwaves through the boxing world that Martin Bakole stopped Alexander Usyk. Now, it's his word against Usyk's. I would caution you to remember, sparring is a different beast from actual recorded professional fights. And if you do the research, historically, you will find a lot of these stories where journeyman, unfancied fighters have stopped or beat up on elite Hall of Famers in the gym. And I always remember what Tom Little said, so the revelation about Daniel Dubois is not new to me at all. But Bakole, from the horse's mouth, stopped Usyk in sparring. Yeah, that's juicy. It's juicy gossip, but no more than gossip. There's no film footage. What were the circumstances? I don't think Tyson Fury will take much from it. He sparred with Bakole. Bakole needs to reveal some of his sparring stories with Tyson Fury. How did they go? Everyone reads into things differently, so people are going to read different things into this sparring story. One thing for sure, it could definitely affect the odds, the gambling odds. If Tyson was a favourite before, stories like that could make him an overwhelming favourite. Ryan Garcia says he's fueled by the comments that Tank made about his parents last year, where he said, Ryan is retarded because his parents are cousins. And that's really got to Ryan, apparently. And he's fueled up by that. And that's why he's willing to make sacrifices, like the 10-pound rehydration clause that Tank insisted on. Ryan claims that Team Tank agreed on 138, and then they changed it to 136. The rematch clause, Ryan said, they still want to be the A side. They want the A side of the split, even if Tank loses, which is ludicrous. I don't know what's happening with that clause. Who would agree to that? What's up with Ryan, though? Can he make the weight or not? Because he said Tank will be his last fight at lightweight, although it's a pound over the official lightweight limit of 136. He's going to go up to light welter. But he said he'd like Lomachenko next. And Lomachenko is not moving up to 140. There's just no way. He's too small. He also said he wanted to fight Devin, providing Devin beats Loma. And I can understand that one because I don't think Devin's going to hang around at 135 too long either. They had the 4 kings or princes, what they were. They had Tank, Ryan, Tio, and Devin. And none of them have fought each other at 135. At 140, I will be hoping that we see more matchups between the 4 at 140. You got to be serious about legacy. Now, a lot of people have critiqued Tank for the rehydration clause. From his point of view, considering Garcia's physical dimensions, he did nothing wrong. He's a bigger fighter and he's only growing, said Davis. to the group of reporters. He's coming from like 170, 180. Why would I not have a rehydration clause in there? So he can blow back up to 150, 160 around the time we fight? He says, no, I'm not done. Garcia will enjoy a 5-inch height advantage and roughly a 3-inch reach advantage. Ryan's last fight was against Fortuna, and that was at 140, non-title fight. Here's the thing though, Tank fought for that lower tier WBA belt at 140 against Barrios. Barrios is bigger than Ryan. He's 6 foot and he has a 71-inch reach. Ryan has a 70-inch reach. He's 5'10". Barrios actually fought Keith Thurman at 147 and went the distance. He didn't put no weight clause on Barrios, did he? I don't remember a weight clause being put upon Barrios. Which says a lot, doesn't it? I mean, I'm sure he's confident he can beat Ryan, but he's concerned enough about Ryan that, at least according to Ryan, the fight was stipulated to be at 138. He's took it down to 136. And he threw a rehydration clause in there. And this is not the biggest opponent he's faced. You know, I've got to be consistent. I never supported Floyd and the 152 catch weight against Canelo. Great win, great performance. But, you know, Canelo's done it to other opponents, rehydrated them. And I don't agree with none of that. So, in the name of consistency, I can't say I'm thrilled to bits about a rehydration clause in this fight here. But Ryan signed. It's good to go. Ryan says he's not concerned about the rehydration clause, but if he's knocked out badly, he's going to come up from Team Ryan that he was dehydrated. I have no doubt about that. You know, damage control is all too important in boxing these days. Tank says Ryan only has one punch, and that's a hook, a left hook, and he's got him figured out as a boxer. I believe Ryan's inactivity is ultimately going to hurt him in this fight. He's already up against a more talented fighter, and he missed the trick, not taking that tune-up this year when he had the opportunity to. He should have took that tune-up. His promoter, Oscar, say what you want about Oscar, he's an ATG fighter. He has raised concerns about Ryan not taking the tune-up, but we'll see. April the 22nd, it's a big month. Got that fight to look forward to, and hopefully Usyk versus Fury. AJ kicks the month off against Jermaine Franklin. Big month for boxing. Very big month.